Hey viewers, welcome to this video on NS3. In previous video, remember we have discussed about the fifth.cc file and also we have seen the observations of the TCP variants for the various congestion control algorithms. So if you are new to this video, then I might suggest you to watch our previous videos, and for your help I may have pinned the link of the playlist in the last video in the description box. And also consider subscribing to my channel for more such videos. So without wasting much time, let's get started with our today's video. So basically in today's video we'll be looking at something called command line arguments in the NS3 scripts. So we'll be looking at the ways to automate the work in NS3. Basically this video is like a cherry on the top of NS3 scripts. So you can consider this as a little tips and trips kind of video. So without wasting much time, let's get started with today's video. So now you might have used the command line arguments in typical C, C++ or Java environments, right? However, to make this thing look good, nice and clean, NS3 has provided a class which is called CommandLine, which is used to parsing the command line arguments. So we can register an actual arguments with the help text or name of an argument and binding value. For that we can actually use this method which is called add value. So actually this is second.cc file, the source file. I am looking at the documentation NS3 which is provided by the NS3, right? So you can see these three lines. If you will look at the copy inside examples, inside tutorials, and if you will open the second.cc file inside, let's say gedit text editor, then you will observe the same lines, right? But let's see on the website, right? So this thing called command line. So if you will look at this class, so it will basically give us the reference to that class, right? So here there is a method called add value. See, if you will see this, so this you can use to add a program argument which is assigned to POD, right? So there are three things that you need to pass. The first is the name of the program supplied argument. Basically we refer the name of argument, the value which we provide at the command. So when we are entering the command to run the file, so then what is the name of that argument that we are using to pass the value. So that will goes over here. Then there is a help text. So basically that we can see by print help argument, right? So basically this what it will do, it will print all the arguments which are possible to pass. So we have added this command line, so we can see that what are the things that we have passed by using this print help. And then there is a value, a reference to the variable. So the value that we have passed during the argument to this name, that will be binded to which function or which variable that we will pass the reference, right? So don't get much confused over here. Let's just observe now inside the gedit. So here they have we have discussed second.cc file, but we didn't discuss at that time about these command line arguments. So there are actually two command line arguments that they have added over here. The first is ncsma, and the description help, or you can say the help text for this command arguments is number of extra CSMA nodes, or you can say devices, and it has binded with this ncsma variable which is by default 3 over here. So one thing that you can consider as a tip, that whenever we bind some variable with the command line, it is necessary to give the default value. So when we didn't pass this argument, so it will take this default value. So when we were running the second.cc file in our previous video, we didn't pass a certain arguments. So the default value that they have considered, or the file will be considered at that time, which was 3. Now then there is this verbose which will tell echo applications to log if true. So by default it is true, but if we make it by default false, so then there will be no logs. If we want to see the logs, then we need to pass what we can say, the verbose argument and with the true value. So now let's just make it true. So now let's see one example of this second.cc file. So now let's see the example of command line arguments. So here you have noticed that they have added 2 program arguments. One is NCSMA and another is verbose. So actually we can see the list of all arguments by one command. So that actually we have seen over here, that we can see the help by print help argument, right? So that's what we are going to see first. So from the NS3 root folder we can enter this command, and remember, whenever we are passing some command line arguments, so just make sure that you add all the things inside quote. So after /ns in run, whatever you write inside the double quotes. So we write second and then space and then print help. So basically this will print all the program options or all the command line arguments that are possible to pass with this second file. So these 3 are the, what you can say, the program options that we have added by using this line of code. Let's see, we have commented this line. So let's now use this again. So let's observe the changes, that what are the things. See, so we have commented this verbose line, and usually and as usual the change is reflected. See, so now that's the thing. Now let's say we want to pass n CSMA nodes. So there are currently 4 CSMA nodes. Actually this one device is connected via point-to-point link and another 3 nodes. That's why they have mentioned CSMA nodes are 3. Now we can increase the CSMA nodes, right? So let's just do that. So now let's just say that we want to pass n CSMA nodes is equals to 5. So we can do that by this line, by passing the command line arguments with -n CSMA, which is equals to certain value, right? So that will be same because there are 5 nodes in the CSMA, so it will be like same. Now let's just observe the changes. What will be happen if we turn off this verbose. So for that, turning off the verbose, we need to write verbose equals to false. See, the program has been compiled and all the things has been done, but the logs are not printed on the screen because we have turned off the verbose flag. So that's the thing about second.cc. Now we can actually utilize this in a very helpful way. So before we utilize it, let's just look at one of the another example, which is inside tutorials itself and inside third.cc. Where is this third.cc? Yeah, so here it is the file third.cc. We can open it inside gedit. So you can see there are lots of things that they have added. They have added number of extra CSMA nodes, number of extra Wi-Fi STA nodes, then verbose and then tracing. So these are the command line arguments that you can utilize and you can use if you want to run using this command, and you can type double quotes third, and by looking at this print help you can directly see what are the available command line arguments, or you can observe the file also, and you can pass the same way that we have did over here, right? So there is no any difference. Just make sure to add double quotes and then hyphen and then the name of the command line arguments, which is equals to the value that you want to pass. That's the same context, right? So now let's modify one of the file that we have seen in the previous video, right? So remember, in the previous video I have told you to ignore these lines, right? So in previous video what we were doing, we were just changing this value, right? TCP cubic, but the way we were doing was a little bit what you can say, a noob way. so a noob way, that what we were doing, we were just copy pasting the things that we want to change. But let's say we don't want to copy and paste the things. So what we can do? So we can introduce a variable. So let's say I am just commenting out this line. So these two lines are basically by default that you want to write, that you need to write compulsory. And observe this 91th line. So basically by default, what is the algorithm? So the algorithm is TCP cubic by default. So remember, I have told you to set up the by default variable value. So this is the by default algorithm variable. Now then we have added this malgo as a command line argument. We have added the description also, and by default value, and we have passed the reference to this variable, right? And now what we can do, we can just do like this. See, so that's pretty much it that we want to do. Now let's say we want to simulate TCP BIC. So how we can change? So basically let me just type clear, and we want to run fifth algorithm. So basically fifth algorithm, not the algorithm, the fifth.cc file, if we run it, so let me just do one change over here. We can print out the value for the algorithm, which is equals to variable malgo, right? And then std. So if we run the fifth.cc file, by default, as you can see, we have set the default algorithm, which is TCP cubic. So it will be simulated for the TCP cubic, right? And let me just type clear again. And now let's say we want to simulate for the TCP BIC algorithm. So what we can do, we can pass hyphen m algo, which is equals to TCP BIC. See, the algorithm is TCP BIC, and this is the readings for that file. So I think that's it for today's video. You have got the idea that how you can use these command line arguments to make things easier for you. You can use this in several of your NS3 scripts. It will make things basically easy for you. So try to experiment with this and try to get some knowledge, or you can get some idea from this page also. Explore this command line class references from this NS3 official documentation. And that's it for today's video. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring.